My name's Hannah. I'm from Florida in the U.S., from St. Augustine. I'm 25 years old, and right now I'm a net missionary in Ireland. The Blessed Mother, so I'm actually still kind of working through my relationship with her. Just due to struggles I've had in my past with my own personal relationships with the women in my life. My mom and my grandmother, the three of us just have had just difficult situations or difficult relationships. We're not very open with each other. So recently I've kind of found comfort in the Blessed Mother. She's basically she fills all the gaps that my mother and my grandmother have kind of left in my life. And I'm just kind of learning to trust her because I'm learning that she's perfect. And she doesn't scold you or anything, but she just kind of meets you where you're at and just gives you that motherly love that every person needs. No, I did not always pray the Rosary. The first time I ever prayed the Rosary, at least that I can remember, was actually my first year of university. I remember I was in my dorm room and it was the middle of the night and my roommate got a phone call. And I remember being annoyed at her that she woke me up with her phone call. But it turned out one of her close friends had just had a brain aneurysm or something in the middle of the night and just died. And she was Baptist. And so everybody, they kind of started their prayer chain and everything, and they just she just left the room and told me what was happening, left the room, and that was it. And I was nobody's praying for that person's soul. And so my instinct was, I have a rosary, I'm gonna figure out how to pray the rosary. And I had a little pamphlet and I just went through, and I think it was the Sorrowful Mysteries that day, and I just probably did it wrong, but I went and prayed the rosary. So that was the first time I ever prayed it. It was very hard in the beginning, especially not having a great community to teach me. But when I did eventually have a good community to teach me the Rosary, I really enjoyed praying it as a group. It was a great way that my friends and I could all sit down and pray together. Even if we were praying for different intentions, we could all be actually praying the same thing. I've just learned of the beauty in it. If you read the Bible, you can see where during the Annunciation where Elizabeth says, or the Visitation, where Elizabeth says blessed are you among women, and you can just see the verses of it in the Bible, and so you can just be able to say what Elizabeth said to Mary through the Rosary. And then I have really learned to love the Hail Holy Queen prayer. It's my favorite prayer, and I really don't know why, but I just love that prayer. But I think for me it's become easier over the years that I've prayed the Rosary, just because it's something I can always fall back on. So it's become more of a comfort of just if I don't know what else to pray, then I can at least pray the Rosary, because I know it's a tried and true prayer. So I pray the Rosary unless other people suggest it. For me personally, I'll pray it basically whenever I'm just I know I need to pray, but I don't have the words. And so I think it's just a great way to meditate and on whatever mysteries there are that day. And I've learned that whenever I do that and I pray the Rosary, if your mind wanders to one specific thing and you're oh no, I'm praying the Rosary, and then it just keeps wandering back to that one specific thing, then that can be what God needs you to pray for. So for instance, if I'm praying the Rosary and that day I'm I just don't know what to pray for, God, and I'm praying the Rosary, and then this one friend keeps popping up in my head, and I keep praying the Rosary, but she keeps popping up in my head. I've learned to just take that and say, she might really need my prayers right now, so I'll offer up this Rosary for her. Everybody has time to pray the Rosary. We have so much wasted time in our day. So when you're driving, I used to count on my fingers the decades. Or if you're in the car and you have a CD, you could put a CD in for the Rosary. But I think you might not have time every single day, that's reasonable, but at least once a week or so you would have time to pray the Rosary. You could do it if you go to Mass and you like get there early and you're just like, oh, I have like 15 minutes, like you could just sit there and while you're getting ready for Mass, like pray the Rosary. Like there's so many like little pockets of time that you could pray the Rosary. And like I need to learn to do this, but I have a lot of friends who have rosaries just in every jacket that they own. They have like little cheap rosaries everywhere. So whenever they're just kind of waiting for something, they can just like sit there and offer that time up for God or for someone else.